Hello and welcome back to Today We Review, and today we'll be reviewing the Polsen Studio Monitors headphones HPCA30. This was actually provided to me as a gift. Unfortunately, I don't know the specific price since it fluctuates within the market, but I want to thank the individual who provided me with this one as a gift. So let's go ahead and get started. Today we're going to be looking at a couple of things. We'll review the item, we'll test, I'll to inform you of the test outs, and then I'll provide you my final review or personal thought about the product. So let's go and look at the box right now. As we see currently right now, it's a pretty large box. It's very simple, nothing big or anything like that. It does provide you, of course, with its website, and that's about it. The box itself comes with another cardboard inside that allows you to, or allows the headphones to be able to have them mounted. In the specifications, we do view a couple of different things. So of course we do see the type, we see the ear cup, driver, and the other things as well. However, I will note that once I started testing these things out, I did notice that it's not completely towards the full specifications, but that's currently right now. So let's go ahead and look at the actual product itself. The product is relatively nice. It's actually a very nice detailed headphone set. It has a nice black gloss, nice black matte as well finished. I will say this, I was surprised when I read on the box, and it's very true, the cord is almost 9 feet long, which, you know, works great for some things, but for other things it's just too much. The cord itself is a pretty good and pretty strong cord. It's not flexible. Well, it is flexible enough, but it's not going to be tearing. I will say this, one of the main things that I found as a downside was the actual connector is too large. If you want to put it on your headphone piece or anything like that, it's a bit large. So if you have a case, it's not going to go all the way in. That's one thing that I encountered with my phone. There you go, let me put it as an example. It actually tends to stick out, and because I have a case, the phone won't read it as a headphone jack. That's one downside. However, I did notice that this is mainly because the headphone piece comes also with a different adapter as well, and this is the adapter that you could put into like one of those speakers for like guitars and things like that, so you could actually hear your own jams as well. So that is its main reason that it's so wide, but that's one of the downsides that I saw. However, working with a computer or any kind of laptop or anything, it works perfectly fine. It's mostly just with mobile phones that have a case. Additionally from that, I will mention that it's very soft, but the actual headrest part, it seems very cheap. It feels like any kind of tear will create a tear, or anything like that will open it up and it starts disintegrating. This is that kind of like cheap plasticky leather imitation that most headphones that are very cheap actually come with. If you saw the review previously before, the Bluetooth audio that I made, this is basically the same material on the headphone set. The headpieces, or the center piece that goes around your ears, actually is soft. It's a different material compared to the Bluetooth, and it seems to be more of a tighter, or like a more stern material compared to this. This is the only thing. I haven't taken off the plastic just because I'm afraid that by using it or overusing it, it's going to start tearing. So I've left the plastic on, and it hasn't made much of an issue. I will say this, that it's not as soft as I would say, but it is very flexible, and that's one thing that you could see. I could bend the plastic part on top, which is nice. Aside from this, it does go over the ears. The only thing is that so I'm not relatively tall in stature, so I don't have a large head. And the actual head piece, you do have different levels that you could put it on, but even the lowest one, it fits me kind of large. It fits me a little bit big. It's not snuggly compared to the Bluetooth audio or some other ones that I've had in the past. It seems more for like individuals who might be a bit taller, have a larger head. It will fit perfectly fine as well. But for my section, since I'm not that tall, my skull isn't that large either, it fits a bit loose. So when I put it on, it tends to kind of drop a bit, and instead of over my ears, it's kind of like right on top of the ear. So that's kind of its own downside. But I mean, it's pretty good. I do, however, like that it does have well movement. So if you're the kind of person that likes to have your headphones around your neck, you are able to do that. It does give you that availability. Of course, for easy storage, you can also snap it in. And it's easy portability, which is a good thing. I like that. Compared to the other headpiece that I reviewed, the Bluetooth Audio, this one in general is better structured. It seems more sturdy. The plastic material, of course, is not high form, but it is better in terms of movement. It is a lot better in terms of usage. So with it, you don't have to worry so much about being gentle with it. You could move it around, it won't have any issues. There are one other thing that I didn't like was that the actual cord runs on the left hand side. It's not an issue for me. However, I have this thing where I like it on the right hand side. And one other thing that I did kind of notice that I didn't really like so much was that it's not removable. So you're not able to remove the actual headset from the auxiliary cord, which nowadays I would have preferred that be instead of the actual section of it, just because I could actually disconnect it, and if I have a smaller cord I could connect it, or vice versa. The long cable sticks with it the whole way. It's good and bad. I just would have really preferred that it could be detachable. From an additional point, maybe it's good because you don't have to worry about losing the cable or anything, but you know, I would have probably expected it'd be good. So let's talk about really quick the test that I conducted. In regards to the headphones, I conducted various different audio sounds. I tested with bass, I tested with country, rock, death metal, classical music, techno, you name it, basically all this stuff, pop, rap and everything. Now, I did notice one thing, which was that it's really good for dialogue, treble, kind of songs that have a lot of words in them. You're able to hear them clearly with this headset. It sounds really great. The only thing is that if you're looking for bass, I wouldn't recommend these headphones. It felt like it lagged some of the bass. It didn't have that kick with like heavy hardcore bass or drum and bass as well. It didn't have that, you know, thump into it. So it sounded more like a hollow bass where you heard the bass, but it was very clear, but it didn't have that, I guess the boom, 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 boom style, which, you know, if you're looking for that kind of stuff, I would of course recommend other ones that have a larger bass as well. But as I mentioned, it works really great for lyrical songs. So if you're more of the person that likes to enjoy the lyrics, these are perfect. I mean, in terms of pop, in terms of other ones where there's a lot of lyrics, singing and things like that, they worked really great. The sound was clear, it came in very nice. There wasn't any kind of interference, there wasn't any kind of distortion or anything like that. It sounded really nice, and it's not so much of a soundproof. You are able to hear some noises. So I was doing, you know, of course, the snapping, I was doing some movements, and you were able to hear it. It does help that it goes over the ears, so it creates a surround sound form, and it does kind of have an enclosure. However, it's not soundproof. So you are going to be able to hear noise around you. You are going to be able to hear, you know, various different things. I did notice that I had to actually bump it up, you know, all the way almost to like the middle volume of high tone or anything from my phone and some other devices to really hear more of like the music, in terms of like the actual instruments for dialogue and things. It was very fun. It was very, very good. There were a couple of songs where I heard more of the instrumental versus the actual lyrics, so it was a little confusing, but in most cases it was dialogue was higher than the actual drum and bass and the instrumental, and you know, but it was a good one. I've used this one also for gaming, of course, since it doesn't have the 3 rings, so you won't be able to actually hear or talk as a mic. But if you're really one of those persons that wants to play and you like the headphones on to be able to hear the commotion of the video game, it works very well as well. I tried it with Doom because of the drum and bass kind of style lacking that it had. It didn't give you that real like nice immersion input. However, it was very well for other games as well that had more of a like melody style, you know, more of these kind of instrumental background songs or notes. It worked great. But for you know, I do like that drum and bass kind of style, that thump into it, and this kind of wasn't my particular choice. However, it might be others as well. So that's usually about my test results and the reviews that I did notice. Would I recommend it? It's a yes and a no, depending on the price, depending on how you get it. If you could get it under $20, it's a nice headpiece. If it's over $20, I wouldn't really recommend it, because for that price you could already start looking at other different headpieces as well, and that they have more of a higher concentration and volume wise. It's a give or take. It's an iffy. If you have this and it's more of your secondary headphone, yeah, go for it. I would recommend it. If it's your primary one, I would rather use, you know, invest a bit more, wait a little more to be able to save some money and purchase, you know, a better headset as well. There are cheap headsets as well that deliver a good sound. This one wasn't as great. You know, it had its perks here and there, but it was very well placed as well. If any of you have the same version, and maybe it might just be me that has, you know, one of these odd ones, or that's not working that well, let me know in the comments. Let me know also what other headphones you might recommend. Maybe there's other ones around the same price range. Like I said, this one fluctuated a lot with price wise, so it's a little hard to actually pinpoint what would be the adequate price range for this one. But let me know in the comments, you know, let me know if you have, you know, your favorite headset. You know, I still use the Bluetooth audio and they work really great for me. Still, I have some other headsets as well, but I wanted to give you guys a review on this one because I thought it was important in case anybody was interested in this one. So leave your comments, like the video. There's a bunch of more videos coming along. You know, loves and kisses, guys. Hope you guys have a great day. If you have any questions, just go ahead and comment and I'll try and read them and answer them as best I can. You all have a great one.